Well, hello, deacons of MacArthur Boulevard. If you will remember, at our last deacons meeting in the month of April, we introduced to you a couple of new ministry concepts that are closely related but are distinct. And the goal was to come back in the month of May and to review everything that we discussed before we ask you to begin going into community groups in the month of May to talk about these ministry initiatives. Since we're not able to meet in the month of May, I wanted to send you a couple of training informational video clips here that will simply review everything that we discussed in that meeting, just to make sure that you have a good understanding of exactly what we're doing and what you're responsible for as a deacon as it relates to these two ministry initiatives. If you have any questions after watching these videos and looking at the handouts on exactly what you're supposed to do or how this is going to work, please reach out to either me or Danny Smith and we can talk to you more about that. What I want to do here in this first video clip is talk to you about what it means to represent a community group. This was the first thing that we introduced to you in our deacons meeting. We want every single adult community group to have a deacon representative. Somebody on the deacon team that they can go to if they have questions, need help, or support in any way. Now, many of you will be simply representing the group that you're already a member of. But because I don't have a deacon in every community group, and then I have some community groups with multiple deacons, there are a few of you who will be representing a group that you are not a member of. The goal of this is to empower you as a deacon to fulfill your responsibilities of caring for the body and maintaining unity within the body of MacArthur Boulevard. And we believe that by having our deacons more closely connected to our community groups, it will enable you to fulfill these basic responsibilities of what it means to be a deacon at MacArthur Boulevard. So on the handout that I gave you and that is attached to the email that you received to access this video, you will find one sheet that is called Responsibilities of Representing a Community Group, which outlines for you 3 specific responsibilities of what it means or what's expected of you as a community group deacon representative. All right. The first one is connect. All right. What we're asking you to do is just to stay closely connected with the group that you represent. All right. If you're not a member of the group that you represent, what we want you to do is to simply visit that group at least once every quarter, every 3 months, just to check in. Pop in on a Sunday morning, visit with the group, check in, see how things are going, just to maintain a connection there. We would also like for you to probably about once a month make contact with the shepherd leaders of that group, whether it's a phone call or a Sunday morning conversation, just to stay in touch with the shepherd leaders of the group to see, is there anything that I can do to help? Is there anything the deacons can do to help you as you're leading this community group? So number 1, just stay in close connection with them. Number 2 is the responsibility of support, all right? As you remain closely connected with the community group, if physical, emotional, or spiritual needs within the group arise or are brought to your attention that are greater than what the group themselves can meet, then we want you to step in and help support the shepherd leaders and the group in general in meeting those needs. And if it's a situation where we need to actually mobilize other deacons or people within the church to help meet a need, we want you to lead the way in mobilizing and managing, overseeing that effort. All right? We want the kind of the first line of ministry and care to the people of MacArthur Boulevard to come from the community group that they're in. This is what the community group ministry is all about in MacArthur Boulevard. Our community groups exist to equip people to live lives in community, which is participating sacrificially in each other's lives. So we want the primary care and ministry to come from the group themselves. But we also recognize that there are going to be exceptional circumstances within the lives of the people in our church where there is a need that goes beyond what a single group can meet. And this is where, as the deacon representative of that community group, you can step in and support that group and the shepherd leaders of that group in the care and ministry that they are giving to those members. So stay well connected. Please support them in their care and ministry. And finally, the third responsibility is just communication. Communicate. And we're really talking about two-way communication here. There are going to be times in which we as pastors and staff have something going on within the church or a ministry initiative that we need to communicate to our people. And if we believe that the best way to do that is through our community groups, to communicate them directly to our community groups, then there may be times in which we ask you to go into a group and help us to communicate and to talk about new ministry initiatives, something that we're thinking about. Maybe it's going to be something that involves community groups, to be able to go in and talk to the group about, hey, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, what questions do you have that I can help answer for you, all right? So it's helping us to communicate as pastors to the church body, but we also want you to help us with communication in receiving feedback from the church body back to the pastors and staff. So as you are staying well connected with the group that you represent and with the shepherd leaders of those groups, and if there are questions that you're receiving from them or concerns or whatever it might be that you're hearing from them, to be able to bring those concerns back to us and communicate those things back to us as pastors and staff so that we can be aware of them and we can think together about the best way to address them. So this is the whole idea. I don't think this is going to be a lot of work or time on your part. There will be, I'm sure, weeks or days where more time is required than others as needs arise. But the idea here is simply that you're building a relationship with a particular community group and the leaders of that group. You're staying connected with them. You're helping to support any kind of care and ministry support that they might need. And then you're just helping with communication, communicating from pastors and staff to them and communicating from them back to pastors and staff, all right? And that's all that it means to serve as a representative, a deacon representative of our community group. Now, thank you so much, guys. Watch the next video clip, and hopefully that'll answer the rest of your questions.